Aloha. So let's talk about Bernie Sanders.
The time to fight back is now.
I
A lot of
agree.
Americans, for a good reason, are feeling a little
So this is the Rational National, David Dole. If you don't know, I'm going to cover him and Kyle Kalinske talking about Bernie's rallies right now.
aimless right now. A lot of pent-up frustration around what the Trump administration is doing, and the Democratic Party isn't doing a whole lot to fight back against it. Cue Bernie Sanders, who held several events over the weekend for good reason. I'll get to what that reason is. But massive crowd showed, which I gotta say is, for me, not surprising because it's Bernie Sanders. But
Right.
typically, we're holding events outside of a campaign, outside of a primary.
So I wrote a letter to Bernie Sanders and I sent it to him earlier on his website, but I'm going to put it in not the description, but the comments below because it won't fit in the description. It's a little bit long, but it'll fit in the comments. So check out that letter. If you like it, copy it and send it to him yourself. If you want to edit it, go ahead and edit it, change it to what you want. But it's about him joining the Green Party and putting this movement into somewhere that will fuel this movement, keep this movement going.
Nothing, there's no election going on, and having this many people show up is wild. But before I get to a couple of
Right, without
clips
even an
and
election.
why Bernie is doing this and his attempt to organize voters, I want to remind you, in case you forgot or maybe you never saw this, this is an incredible map. This is from 2019 going into the 2020 primary, candidates with the most individual donors. Bernie Sanders, this map comes up every now and then on social media. People bring it back up because it shows you so much. Bernie Sanders with support all across the country. This was the energy
Imagine if he joined the Green
that
Party.
he's
We could
able
win
to
7
continue
states.
harnessing, because he continues being one of the few people that is truly in the opposition to the Republican Party. He is an independent senator fighting for what's
He should be in opposition to both parties if he's a true independent senator. Both parties are owned by the corporations. They both work for the same people. But if Bernie joined the Green Party, we could take Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, sometimes Oklahoma. Like, look at all that. We could take these states if he was in the Green Party. The Democrats will never win Alabama. The Democrats will never, ever win Alabama, and we know this.
right, is willing to criticize the complete failure of the Democratic Party to fight back against both Trump and the oligarchy. And he's able, and I think best poised, to go with this message. So before I get to the first clip, just this is the environment of where this is all taking place and why people are feeling a certain way. Trump has tapped an unprecedented 13 billionaires for his administration. So I will link to the source below the video in case you want to go through all 13. But this gets to people's feelings right now around the economy. Here is Harry Enton on CNN.
Rutro, the reboot not as well received
Ruh-roh.
as the original. Economy is currently good or excellent. Look at this. In April of 2017, it was 40%. Look at where we are in February of 2025, just half that level. 20%. My goodness gracious. The term one high was 63% of Americans in February of 2020 thought the economy was excellent or good. This 20% we have currently going
Well,
on right now is
I would say, to be fair on that, Trump kind of got voted in because the economy was bad. He's only been in for a month, so whatever his plans are, whatever he's trying to do, you got to let it happen for a minute. Not that I think he's going to bring the economy up, but just if he got voted in because the economy's bad 1 month later, how would it be good? I mean, that'd be a really quick turnaround.
fewer Americans saying the economy is excellent or good than at any point during Trump's first term. This is not a good sign, Kate Baldwin.
J.D. Vance said last week, you got to give them time, even though that's not what they promised in the campaign. They said they bring prices down day one.
Yeah, that's not gonna
But what
happen.
is the view of the future economy then?
Yeah, so this is the current economy. How about the future economy? Is the economy getting worse or better? And all I can say is, yikes. Yikes. Again, compare it to where we were in the first term at this point, April of 2017, 53%. The majority said it was getting better. How about now in February of 2025? The majority say it's getting worse. 59% compared to just 35% who say it's getting better. Worse is higher now than at any point in Trump's first term pre-COVID. This number, to me, is much more worrisome.
Yeah, see, I was about to say, yeah, that
worst
number
I've
means
seen
more
for
than
Trump
the
on the
first one.
economy, because it says even if the economy now isn't great, they also project that it's only going to get worse from here. This is a
That would
big,
be real bad for
big
Trump.
yikes.
So, the majority of Americans believe that the economy is terrible and that it's only going to continue getting worse under Donald Trump. But maybe they haven't seen that Trump's billionaire cabinet represents the top 0.0001%. These people have your best interests at heart.
Oh, I'm sure
So
they do.
people should be confident in the economy and it working for them if their name is Elon Musk. So
Right.
the collective net worth of Trump's top appointees is reportedly estimated to exceed $460 billion, including Elon Musk's $400 billion net worth. Even without Musk, Trump's cabinet and top appointees in 2025 by far exceeds the wealth of previous cabinets, including his previous cabinet and previous record holder, which was worth $3.2 billion. President Biden's cabinet collectively was worth $118 million. So I want to be clear. This is still an issue. But there is a massive difference here between the level of billionaires that are in Trump's cabinet and the multimillionaires in a Democratic cabinet. Both are still wrong. There should be more representation of the working class, of unions,
Both
union
are
leaders.
still wrong.
Should really
But vote for the lesser evil, right? You're going to say vote blue no matter who. Just go to the Green Party. If we could get people like this to talk about the Green Party and have the people fill the Green Party, we wouldn't have a problem.
be the ones leading the charge. But like it's beyond terrible what Trump and his cabinet are doing. That's where Bernie Sanders comes in. So this is his fighting oligarchy tour. Where we go from here. So he went to Omaha, Nebraska, Iowa City, Iowa. I'll get to a clip in a second, but here are some images. He said on Twitter here, I want to thank the overflow crowds who came out in Iowa City to stand up to Trumpism. Together we must say no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism, no to massive cuts in Medicaid, and no to huge tax breaks for billionaires. Check out this crowd. And then the overflow crowd, which is a little wild that there is even an overflow crowd. So let me get to a clip. This one is from Nebraska. But I'm going to get some more data around just how crazy these crowds were in a second.
Democrats will never win Nebraska.
Trumpism will not be defeated by politicians inside the D.C. Beltway. That is not going to happen. Trumpism will not be defeated by politicians inside the D.C.
Will not be
Beltway.
defeated by politicians inside the D.C. Beltway.
That is
That means
not
Democrats.
going to happen. It will be defeated by millions of Americans in Nebraska, in Iowa, in Vermont, and all over this country.
Not if they go into the Democratic Party. We've seen this before. If he goes to the Democratic Party with this movement, what's the Democratic Party going to do? Shut him out. Barack Obama will come in and back some other candidate. Hillary Clinton will come in and cheat him and find a Pied Piper to run in the Republican Party. We've done this a few times, Bernie. Please, please do not go to the Democratic Party with this movement. They don't deserve it. They don't want it.
Who come together at the grassroots level like we are doing tonight
Grassroots Green
in
Party.
a movement which says no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism, no to kleptocracy, no to massive cuts in programs that the working class desperately needs,
How about a living wage?
and no to huge tax breaks for the billionaires and the 1%.
So you see there, Bernie acknowledges that this is not going to be
Other than the cutting things, the Democrats do all of that other than the cutting programs that he was talking about. But the Democrats do the rest of that stuff.
stopped by people within Congress, but it will be stopped by a movement of regular people who stand together. And he goes on as a
And you know what's the one thing that can stop a movement of regular people? The Democratic Party.
we'll get to later, to sort of give an idea or discuss an avenue for where at least these people should go, and you can, as I'll discuss later, you can kind of see what he's trying to help create.
Huh?
But Faz Shakir,
I haven't watched this, so I'm
who
not
has
sure
worked
the
for
avenue
years.
he's going to talk about.
Says this is a first in many ways. We had 2 different large flow crowds in Iowa City. One of those overflows was so large that it was bigger than the original theater he came to speak at. So, again, I know I'm harping on these crowds, but it's not an election. There's not a primary going on. This is just people coming together that want to see Bernie Sanders, but there is this desire, this pent-up energy that people are trying to...
And man, he went to the Democrats in 2016. If they would have backed him and the people then, this movement would now be passed on to somebody else. He would already served his 2 terms. There'd be a younger candidate. It might be AOC, but somebody else. And the movement would still be going. He just keeps bringing it up. They knock it down. Bring it up, knock it down. The 3rd time, Bernie Sanders is bringing up the same movement, the same people. The Democrats are the same people. They're going to do the same thing. All they're going to do is knock it down if he tries to give it to the Democrats.
To find a place to put, and this is potentially the start of where that energy can go. So Craig Phelps on Twitter writes, Bernie Sanders in Iowa City is the most searched term in Iowa over the past 48 hours. In the past 7 days, people in Nebraska, Alaska, and Wyoming round out the top 5 regions searching oligarchy. So this is a video from Omaha, Nebraska, of Bernie coming out, and check out the energy here.
Listen to that. It's crazy. Oh, it's a small room. There's a lot of people in it. All this excitement. So I know a couple letters have been sent to Bernie Sanders.
So they were originally going to be in a union
asking
hall.
him to come to the Green Party. I've got a couple people to do it so far. Try to get more people to do it. Like I said, it's going to be in the comments below. Take the letter, edit it if you want to. Put your name, put whatever you want to put on it, and send it to Bernie. Let's try to get this movement to count, like to really matter. If it goes to the Democratic Party, it's not going to count. It's not going to matter. They're just going to tell us to go away.
And so many
push us
people
down.
signed up to come to this that they had to change venues. Now, Warren Gunnels, who also has worked with Bernie for years and years, writes here, what's amazing to me is Bernie did this after a marathon session in the Senate that began at 7:11 p.m. on Thursday and ended at 4:37 a.m. on Friday, voting on over 25 amendments during that time.
All right, we're going to go check out Secular Talk real quick. If you want to watch the end of this, go ahead. It'll be in the comments. Or, no, this will be in the description. All right, and let's see what Kyle has to say about it.
Many people, myself included, have made is, who the hell is leading the Democrats right now?
Nobody.
Like, for real, who is their leader? Stop and think about it. Like, nobody in their right mind would say Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries or
I would
Jerry
say
Connolly.
AOC or Jasmine Crockett would be the most out there right now for the Democrats.
The 74-year-old with terminal esophageal cancer who's the head of the oversight committee. And so, look, it's a real question. Is it Kamala Harris? I mean, she was just, the standard.
She was at the BET Music Awards the other day and gave a speech. I tried to do a video on the speech, but it got blocked because they wouldn't let me share the thing from BET. But I did it from another person had a video that showed her speech and they let him show it. So I don't know. But
Bear not that long ago, but where the hell is she now? She disappeared.
she's a BET.
I saw an article about Joe Biden signing with CAA, the talent agency, and then I think I saw one where Kamala Harris signed with some talent agency too.
Why would you
And
even
it's
bring
like,
up Joe Biden?
I don't know, man. If you were saying, hey, there's like a fascist threat and this guy wants to be a dictator, and then he takes office and like you're nowhere to be found. I don't know. Even somebody like Obama, former president, like you were on the campaign trail for Kamala Harris. Now Trump's actually doing a lot of these things, and mum's the word. You don't hear anything,
And they ain't worried
right?
about
All
it.
because of some nonsense, unwritten rule that like former presidents don't weigh in on current presidents. It's like, I think you can make some exceptions. When he starts talking about stealing Gaza and taking Greenland and stealing Panama and war with Mexico and war with Iran and the world's richest man is illegally hacking into our government agencies and deleting regulatory bodies he doesn't like, I think you can make some exceptions. So, but look, there actually is an answer to the question. Who is the Democrats' leader? And as I pointed out to you guys very early on, you actually can't pick your leaders. Leaders will just...
This is about Bernie Sanders. You're going to talk about the Democrats' leader. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. Stop giving Democrats credit for what Bernie does.
Merge. It's an organic thing. It's a natural thing.
I don't
they
think
rise
that
up through...
I don't think that I've seen Bernie yet say that this movement is in the Democratic Party. Hopefully he brings it to the DSA or the Green Party, the PSL, a left wing. I mean, just the people alone. All you got to do is get them to register to vote. We will win lots of things. Lots of things. Just go to a party that will nourish this movement. The Democratic Party has told us several times they do not want us. Why are you going to say he's the leader of the Democratic Party? They do not want us. That's so crazy.
Through the ranks because they want to rise up through the ranks and they put in the work. Well, guess what? Bernie Sanders announced an anti-oligarchy tour where he's going across the country and specifically to some of these like
Democrats talking about
purple
good billionaires.
districts that Trump barely won. He's going there and he's basically breaking it all down for people. Hey, Elon Musk is the world's richest robber baron. Donald Trump is a far-right fascist. They're a serious threat, and I'm going to lay it all out for you in detail. And so he announced this tour, and guys, this is like, it's like rock star numbers are showing up for him. Okay? Look at this. In the middle of winter in Omaha tonight, Bernie Sanders spoke to 2,400 working-class Nebraskans. We were forced to turn away 800 people at the door. More than 130,000 tuned into the live stream in real time.
Man.
Now, he's also been released...
We need this energy in the Green Party. If he brings us to the Green Party, we can do something. Take it to the Democratic Party. We've seen this act play out twice with Bernie Sanders already. So,
like these videos where he responds like pretty often to what's going on and explains to people exactly what's happening. And those videos on YouTube and on other social media platforms, it's racking up millions of views. Millions of views. This doesn't happen with other politicians not named Donald Trump. It doesn't happen.
Donald Trump, huh?
If Jerry Connolly did a...
And so what did the Republicans do with Donald Trump? They accept him, use his movement, and win elections. These guys want you to stick with the Democrats who don't accept us and don't want to win elections.
Gave a rally speech.
Crazy.
If he did some videos on YouTube to update people on what's happening in D.C., how do you think that would fare? What if Chuck Schumer did it? What if Hakeem Jeffries did it? Okay, so here, I'll show you some of the stuff here. This is one of the pictures. Absolutely packed in there. I also have some videos for you. Here's one video. This one was in Iowa City. Look at this. People
so much energy.
are desperate on the left for a leader. People want somebody who's going to give us the vision, give us the policy agenda, fight back against Trump and Elon and MAGA and all of their insanity. And look, he's coming through. He's coming through. So here, I'll give you some of the article, then I got some more videos for you, but this is in Common Dreams. Thousands in Midwestern GOP districts attend Sanders' first stops on tour to fight oligarchy. Quote, it's like there's only one person who is actually able to sidestep the demoralization and frustration, said one observer. After addressing more than 3,400 Nebraska residents in Omaha Friday evening, U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders on Saturday made his second stop on his national tour to fight oligarchy, telling Iowa residents that Trumpism will not be defeated by politicians inside the D.C. Beltway. For better or worse, that is not going to happen, said the Vermont independent senator, whose broadly popular policy...
So that does give me hope that he might not go back to the Democratic Party. That really does. Like, you can't really say that and then go to the Democratic Party, right? I would think. I don't know.
Proposals have long been dismissed by Democratic leaders as unrealistic and radical, while President Trump has increasingly captured the attention of the working class Americans who would benefit most from Sanders' ideas. Quote, It will only be defeated by millions of Americans in Iowa, in Vermont, in Nebraska, in every state in this country who come together in a strong grassroots movement and say no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism, no to kleptocracy, no to massive cuts to programs the low-income and working Americans desperately need, no to huge tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country.
And no to the duopoly.
The senator announced his tour earlier this month as Elon Musk, the head of Doge, bought the government, bought Trump's campaign, bought the administration, illegally hacking in and stealing government data, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, this article goes on, but here, let me show you what it was like when he walked into one of the events. This one, again, is in Omaha, Nebraska. Watch this, guys.
That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty big. Big cheers. And the Democrats turned this away twice already. Don't make the same mistake, Bernie.
Look, we got to call it what it is. This is Bernie's moment. Because what we're witnessing is the culmination of everything.
See, this should be the people's moment, not Bernie's moment. The people's moment. And the people need to go to the People's Party. The Democrats are not the People's Party. They're a corporate party just like the Republicans. We played this out twice already. They do not want us. Please, let's take this to a party that will feed us, that will take us, that will accept us, and let us do our thing. Let us come together and let us run. And
he said was going to happen, it's happening. It's come to pass, right? You have the oligarchs, the robber barons, the billionaires, the kleptocrats. They have taken over. That's what Elon Musk represents. That's what Peter Thiel represents. That's what Mark Andreessen represents. That's what Mark Zuckerberg represents. When Trump was giving his inauguration speech, he was surrounded by the robber barons. They had better seats than his own cabinet members. They're illegally hacking into our government programs and deleting ones they don't want, like the CFPB and the Education Department. And at the same time, Trump, foreign policy-wise, has gone full 1800s imperialist, full colonialist. He's literally trying to do colonial extraction from Ukraine and saying, give us 50% of your natural resources from now until forever.
Well, I mean, he was on record talking about taking the oil fields from Syria and Syria and Afghanistan. And one time he said we should have, and then one time he said, oh, we did. Like, depending on, it was different times. So, like, yeah, he's very honest about that. He's going to go around and take people's resources. But that's what America does. We go around and steal your resources. You've done videos about that. You know what an economic hitman is. Acting like this is something new is crazy.
Look at how he says we're going to own Gaza. Look at how he says we're going to do war with Mexico. We're going to steal Panama.
How is committing a genocide in Gaza any different? So the Democrats would have just wiped them all out and then let Israel have it or own it ourselves. Same thing. Like, how is that better? We'll just kill you all. We'll just kill all of you first.
We're going to coup Venezuela. I mean, the list goes.
We couped Venezuela like in 2008 or something. We've couped Venezuela like at least 2 or 3 times. We coup everybody all the time. That's what we do. We coup.
On Iran, war with Iran. So he's been right. He's been right every step of the way. He was a leader then. He's leading now. And it feels more like his moment than ever because the grassroots enthusiasm for somebody who's fighting back is immense. And the other thing is, what separates him from so many others, guys, is that he has a narrative. He has a story to tell, right? The MAGA story is very simple and very straightforward. Hey, blame the immigrants for all your problems. Blame the trans people for all your problems. We hate liberals and leftists, and they're also the problem. They have a story, and everything they say fits into that narrative. Fuck the immigrants, fuck the trans people, fuck the liberals and leftists. Everything they say builds towards that agenda and that ideology and those arguments. It is a story that you tell people. I know your life sucks. Here's why. And on the Democratic side, unfortunately, many Democratic politicians, even though they have way better policies than the average Republican, they don't tell a compelling story. It's very like technocratic. We're going to make these tweaks around the edges. Everything's kind of already okay, so chill out. Like, that's the vibe you get from most Democrats. Bernie has a counter narrative. He has a counter story, which is captivating, which moves people. And Bernie's story is, the problem is not trans people and immigrants. The problem is not liberals and leftists. The problem and the reason why your life sucks, it's the robber barons. It's corporations. It's money in politics. It's corruption. They've bought our government, and now the government only represents the wealthy and not you. That's why you're struggling. And that's a better narrative, and it also happens to be true. It happens to be...
That's pretty much his narrative in 2016, 2020. Went to the Democratic Party. They said no, pushed us out. So I'm gonna put the link to this in the description if you want to finish it. But still, these guys sitting here acting like the Democrats are gonna be the avenue. He is not the leader of the Democrats. At least he hasn't came out as being a Democrat yet that I've seen. So we need to all reach out. We need to all push him left, push him to the Green Party, DSA, PSL. Let's build this left-wing coalition. If you agree with me, check out the first comment. I don't know how to put the comment in. I'm going to put the video coming out tomorrow, so I don't know how to put the comment in yet. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to put the comment in when the video comes out. So it might not be in right away, but it should be in within about 2 hours of it coming out. But yeah, let's get Bernie Sanders and the Green Party and let's get some stuff done.